Alright guys, today we've got a Motorola G23, one of the many smartphones that Motorola already released this year. I mean really a lot. This phone comes in at a price of 230 euros over here in Germany, and it comes with a 50 megapixel main camera with an ultra wide angle lens, a 90Hz display, and a 5000 mAh battery that lasts up to 2 days. And today I will give you a full tour of this phone, so let's not waste any more time and let's get started. Alright, once we unbox this phone, you can see that the G23 already comes with a silicone case, which is a nice thing to have until you get your own, or you can keep this one as well. It's pretty basic. You get your usual paper stuff and a SIM card remover, a charging brick with a USB Type A connection, and a charging cable as well. So the Motorola G23 comes in a few different colors. Now, as you can see, I got the steel blue version of it, but there's also a pearl white and a black version of it. At least on this color right here, you can definitely see all of your fingerprints, and I guess it will be the same for the black version. On the backside, you get your 3 lenses, which are mounted on an extra element, but despite of that, the camera don't stick out that much. You get your nice Motorola logo on the plastic back, which is by the way very shiny. The frame is plastic too, and as for the display protection, we've got Panda glass. On top of the 6.5-inch LCD display, we have our selfie camera, and if you look at the phone from the side, it's actually pretty flat with curvy edges. So as I already mentioned, you have a 6.5-inch LCD display, which is a small bummer since for that price you can definitely find other smartphones that have an OLED display. That's why you won't get that good of a contrast on your videos, and since we only have HD+ resolution, pictures do look a little bit grainy. But I can't say that the videos on YouTube or Twitch look bad. It's definitely good enough for your trips, or if you just want to watch some videos out in the park. Just make sure that you're not in such a sunny spot, since the screen only lights up with 400 nits, which is really not a lot. The viewing angles on this phone also change if you tilt your phone to the side, and the black bezels can be a little bit distracting as well. The sides are okay-ish, but on the bottom you get a huge chin. The audio on the G23 does get pretty loud in my opinion. The quality isn't the greatest, but it does get loud. Now, on the top end of your phone, you will get a 3.5mm headphone jack, and on the bottom, the usual Type-C connection for all of the other headphones. Just let me give you a quick example on how this phone actually sounds. But first up, let's take a look at what we actually get inside the box. On this phone, you also have Dolby Atmos that already comes with a few preset audio settings, but you can just create a custom one as well if you really want to get into it. So just like with all of the other new Motorola smartphones, the G23 rocks a 5000 mAh battery that lasts up to 2 days on normal usage. Of course, if you really stream videos all day long and play games 24/7, this number can drop down to about 1 day of usage, which is still great compared to other smartphones. Also, this phone charges with 30 watts, which isn't super fast, but certainly faster than the Moto G13. It roughly takes about 1.5 hours to go from 0 all the way up to 100%. Now, before we get to the next point, you gotta keep in mind that this one is still just a 230 euro smartphone. Now, with that being said, you get a few features. Now, this one comes, of course, with the usual fingerprint sensor, and I guess it works fine. And you have a face detection as well, and that works alrightish as well. By touching your screen with 3 fingers, you can take a quick screenshot, or by twisting the phone quickly twice, you can open up the camera. There are also some more gesture controls, like you can double press the power key to launch the camera or the assistant, you can double tap it to open up any of your apps on your smartphone, or you can do a chopping motion to toggle on the flashlight. There are also a bunch of wallpapers already on this phone, so you can change that anytime you feel like it with different wallpaper colors. And right here you can also toggle on the dark mode. This phone comes with 128 gigs of internal storage and 4 gigs of RAM. Now, if we take a peek into the storage settings, you see that 17 gigs are already used up by the system, just as much as on the Moto G13. So the Motorola G23 comes with the MediaTek Helio G85 chipset, which is the same one that you will also find in the Moto G13 model. That's why the performance are pretty similar. Swiping on the screen can feel sometimes a little bit slow and laggy, even though you have a 90Hz display, but games work just fine. You don't get a game booster, but games still run pretty smoothly on the highest resolution. I tried my car racing game and it works great, even if a lot on the screen happens at once, crashes, nitro and all that stuff. All that seems to be no problem for the G23. I mean, only every once in a while there is a small lag, but that's about it. Just remember that this phone does not support 5G, which is a bummer, so you have bigger problems if you want to play online games on the go. Okay, now the camera. Now, as I mentioned, you get a 50 megapixel main camera with no optical image stabilization, a 5 megapixel ultra wide, and a 2 megapixel macro camera. On the front, you get a 16 megapixel main camera, which can only record with 30 frames per second and 1080p resolution. And that's the same with the main camera. So overall, not the best camera for video footage. A cool small feature is that if you switch to the selfie camera, you get a small light ring around the lens, which does look pretty cool in my opinion. So this phone comes with a portrait mode, a pro mode, and if we click on more, we get more features like a night mode, time lapse. Right here we get our 50 megapixel ultra res camera and a dual capture function. That might be a cool feature, but the pictures don't look all that good. So here goes a quick video of me using the selfie camera. Alright, so right now I'm testing out the selfie camera. Now this one can record in a 1080p with only 30 frames per second. So there's no 4K resolution and there's also no 60 frames per second, which is a small bummer. But I guess pictures do look alright-ish. And guys, there we have it. The Motorola G23 smartphone. This one actually looks pretty similar to the Moto G13, which are also covered on this channel, and even looks pretty similar to the G53 and the G73. If you want to watch any of these videos, I got them all covered on this channel. Just click that video right here to check them out. And I guess with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Peace.